Hi guys, welcome to Dave Atida. Today we're just gonna be talking about moving out of your parents' house, and I'm gonna
very controversial.
And I'll be speaking from a perspective of an African girl moving out of an African household, and my handsome boyfriend here will be talking about an African boy moving out of an African household. So we have two opinions here. So join us as we go to war.
Let's fight, baby. Let's fight.
Okay, baby. Can you tell us why you moved out?
Why did I move out?
Yeah. And your parents' reactions.
Yeah, so basically, at 17, I went to uni, and uni was pretty far. And honestly, it wasn't that far. It was an hour drive, but with public transport, 2 hours. So catching public transport every day for 2 hours. So I did that for a whole year. But then I was like, man, it would be easier for me to actually just live on campus. So it's only 1 hour away, but I wanted to live on campus. So I decided to move out. Even after that, I actually stayed out. I didn't come back after uni. I actually stayed out. How did they react? I personally think, and the way I kind of did it, it was a bit rebellious. I didn't want to listen to what they said. So I just didn't ask. It was more of, hey, mom, dad, I rented a home somewhere. Like I lived 15 minutes away from my parents in some random house. It was a share house and stuff. But it was just because I was used to the independent life, and it was that idea that I felt like I was gonna get married because I was dating at that time. So I felt like, oh, let me give myself 2 years of experience, and then I'll bring in a wife. So from then,
look at you now.
From then, I've just been out. I even moved states. Now I'm in Melbourne. They're in Adelaide. So I kind of I have the habit of being away from my parents.
That's interesting. Guys, can you tell us why you guys moved out? If anyone has moved out here, can you just quickly type in the comment box why you moved out, or a reason why a person should move out? So David had reasons that he was close to uni, and uni was too far away and he wanted to travel. He didn't like the travel. And then the other one was because of a job. So guys, quickly just type in what you think is a good reason to move out, or why you moved out if you've already done so. Okay, babe, what's a good age to move out for both male and female?
What's a good age to move out?
Yeah.
I think I should let you answer that, baby. Somebody said not yet, but as soon as
Charlotte.
18.
18, guys.
Okay, I want to know. I want to know from Charlotte and Panache, like, why do you want to move out?
Why do you want to move out? Yeah.
I think this should be a Zoom one, because I really want to, have conversations.
Talk to people.
Yeah.
A good age to move out is different for boys and girls because society has said so. Well, it's mainly because of uni. Oh, okay. How far is uni? Is uni a different state, or is uni elsewhere? Talk to me. So, the age for someone to move out. I knew that answer was coming. I knew someone was going to say that. Interstate, and because I want to experience independence. I need independence, and my parents are refusing to let me have it. Maybe the thing is, I know both of these girls. I know them. Okay. I'm going to say this now. If you're moving because of uni, and it's interstate, like you said, Panache, then, you do what you gotta do. If you got accepted to uni interstate, you're gonna have to move out, obviously, and move to a whole different state. At the same time, if you have the option of not moving out and staying at home, most of you are gonna bash me for this, especially you two girls. Stay at home. I don't know how to say this properly. Stay at home. Guys, I cannot emphasize that enough. I am 21. So, like, I'm older than y'all. I thought at that age that I was ready to move out at 18. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to move out with my sister. It's going to be fun. We can have dinner over at our house. We can do everything, everything good at our house. And honestly speaking, when I turned 18, I was nowhere close to being financially stable to let alone pay a bond on a mortgage, but pay weekly rent of around $250, $300. There was no way. And David, you can talk about how hard it was for you to get a rental place. Like, he's renting a house right now. And it was the most difficult process because he did not have a clear history of renting beforehand. So it was hard for him to obtain a place to rent now. So you can imagine, as an 18-year-old, what rental history do you have, kind of thing, to apply for a house? So I'm not just talking about like the negatives of getting your own place, but guys, trust me, at 18, you are not ready to move out and be on your own, because you don't realize how much your expenses skyrocket the moment you move out of your parents' house. Like, I live with my parents now. I don't pay for rent. I don't pay for mortgage. I don't pay for the water bills here and there. But I don't pay for the big bills. I don't have a chunk of bills coming at me every single month. My bills consist of Spotify and Netflix. Guys, those are not bills. You can't be coming out here and saying, oh my goodness, I got bills. Boo, Spotify is a choice. Netflix is a choice. You don't need to pay that bill. Your gym membership is a choice. That is not a bill. So the more you can imagine, when you leave your parents' house, you have to get your own Wi-Fi. David cried when he realized he had to get his own Wi-Fi.
Yep.
He was like, wait, I'm going to have to get my own Wi-Fi and pay for it too.
I had to furnish the house myself, baby.
Exactly.
Oh,
like the expenses of just moving out. You have mortgage on top of that. You have to pay for fridge. You have to buy a washing machine,
a bed, couches, I bought whatever, like everything that's in the house, because the house was empty.
Mm-hmm. And if you have a car, you have that on top of that. Yeah. I'm going to just talk about the practicality, the impracticality of moving out at a young age. And I'm going to also talk about the cultural disadvantages of moving out at a young age. So at a young age, trust me, I'm 21 and I'm still not ready to move out because, I'm just building up my savings, because I'll be at a better position financially if I move out at 24 than I was at 18. Because at 18, I probably have like $1,000 in my bank account and I'm going to spend that and blow that up on just rent alone for a month. But at 24, I have had how many years of saving up? 6 years of saving up. I probably have a car that has been paid outright. I now have a much larger savings. I have finished with my studies. I'm not doing a degree. I am soon to be married. That's just just that part. Baby, do you have anything to add before I go to the other part? The expenses part.
Okay, I have the biggest experience on that side because I'm 24, guys, and I've been out of my parents' house for 6 years, and I had to share with other, like, share house and whatnot, living on campus at uni, and even with that, I did not have a proper record of rent. So even me getting an actual rent place, it was so difficult because I didn't have a record. I did not have rent history, all that kind of stuff. So I've experienced that, like, especially now with the coronavirus thingy. Like, babe, I was telling you, like, yesterday or something, I said, babe, I want to go back to my parents. I want to go back to my parents' house because this is too much. Like, I want to go back because I'll be able to save. I'll be able to do so much. Like, I want to get married in a few years. And so, like, the amount of money that I'm spending on paying bills and like utilities and the car and all that kind of stuff, I could save and have an actual proper good wedding, but now I've got so much expenses. I know somebody said you have a sufficient plan, but if you're 18, I mean, I don't know how your intelligence level is. Like, I have no idea. You might be smarter than me. You may do stuff better than I did, but I'm telling you guys, there is no plan. Like, even stuff like what's happened with coronavirus, you couldn't plan for that. I thought I had everything together. Like, anything can happen to ruin everything, and you may end up messed up and you got nothing. Guys, if you are still living paycheck to paycheck and you get $200 or whatever, right? You get $200 or whatever, and then at the end of the week, you're left on zero. If you keep having zeros in your bank account, you're not ready to move out. If you can show me that you've got $10,000 in your savings, then please tell me you've got a sufficient plan and you're ready to go. But if you don't have $10,000 in your savings, then you're not ready to move out. This, I'm talking from experience, because guys, I'm suffering. But,
and he's 24.
And I'm 24.
He's not 18. Let alone, God forbid, he was 18 and he moved out. Like, he would have just... Because when you're paying rent, you're not getting any money in. You're just giving. But me living with my parents, like, since I was 18, well, since I was born, technically, I'm just saving money. All I'm paying for, guys, understand this, all I am paying for is my car and my registration and my license and a couple bills here and there, because my parents have, tried to give us some, make us feel more adulty by giving us some bills. So paying for some bills here and there, but I don't have the big bills such as like the mortgage and all that stuff. I don't have bills that big that it's gonna drain me. This is just the surface of it all. And I get people who say, oh, I want the experience, I want to get the knowledge of how to pay bills. Honey, it takes you 2 days to learn how to pay bills.
Why are you in a rush?
Why? You have the rest of your life to live alone, okay?
Yeah, but why do you even need that experience anyways? Like, why in a rush? Like, you're only like 20 or whatever. What's the rush? You have that experience. Even if you're 30, you can leave your parents' house. Okay, I don't advise for you to be 30. But like, even if you're 30, you can leave your parents' house and start experiencing. It's not like it's like a job or whatever. I need experience for me to be able to actually live independently. No, you can actually have the experience on the, why when you move out, whatever age, or when you get married, whatever age, it's actually for you to actually start experiencing these things. It's okay. So, I think somebody complained about the $10,000 I said, and like, honestly,
that's
if you think $10,000 is a lot of money, you're not ready to move out. If you think you got $1,000 in your bank account, oh my goodness, I'm ready to go. No, you're not ready to go.
That's just
you
the
need
bond.
$10,000 minimum in your savings for you to be like, okay, I think I can kind of work my way, and because guys, emergencies will happen, and you need that 10 grand. I'm telling you guys, I've been working like on my own business since I was 19. So like, I've had money saved up. I'm telling you guys, if I did not have money saved up, I would be suffering right now. I'll be honest with you. During this coronavirus period, I'm only living on my savings because there's no job, there's no work, there's nothing. And me having been able to actually have all that money set aside, I'm able to live on my savings for a few months. But guys, I hear you, baby. And Charlotte, to answer the question, is it a good idea to rent an apartment with friends? Now the answer I'm gonna give you is gonna answer all your questions, I hope. Call me old school. I'm 21, so call me old school if you want to. But my mom, from a very young age, God bless my mom, from a very young age, my mom said, you're not leaving the house until you're married. I don't care if you're moving in with friends, with your sister. You're not leaving this house until you're married. And as a kid, I was like, okay, cool, whatever, cool. And then I became a teenager. I was like, what do you mean until I am married?
Okay, I'm gonna give you a real life example. I have some friends who moved out when they were around 18, 19, straight after high school. They moved out. They said, I want my independence. I want to be alone. They moved out. Now, I am not here to damn them. I'm not here to say what they did was wrong. I'm not here to judge them. I'm just going to give you an idea of how their life spanned out after they moved out. And I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, but these are the loopholes you create for yourself when you do move out. So when my friend moved out, within about 4 months, she was pregnant. And my mom, I always wondered, Mom, why don't you let me move out, like even before I'm married? She's like, Atida, there's a level of respect a girl that comes with you living with your parents as a older woman. You probably don't understand what I'm saying, but mark my words when I say there's a level of respect a young woman gets when she's still living with her parents, because that means she has somebody who keeps her accountable, who keeps her behavior in check, who keeps her actions and questions and guides her a bit better than someone who lives alone. If I was to come home at 2 a.m., my parents will raise questions. Where were you? What were you doing? Don't ever do that again. Blah, 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 blah. I'll get in trouble for that. 2 a.m. is too late for my parents. 2 a.m., that's when the devil is roaming around the streets, So there's someone to keep me accountable. If I was to live by myself and I was to get home at 2 a.m., who's going to hold me accountable? That sounds like a beautiful idea. I can get home whatever time I want.
Independence.
I'm independent. I can get home at 4 a.m. But what good does that do to you? You're living your best life. Really? The moment my friend moved out, I'm still going to use this example. Within a couple months, she got pregnant with no intention at all. She got pregnant because I would like to think what would have happened if she was still staying at her parents' house. I would think how differently situations could have panned out. She didn't have someone holding her accountable to why is she bringing guys in the house? Why is she letting guys in her room? No one is watching over her. No one is telling her, oh, for this behavior. No one is saying, hey, who was that in your room? Hey, why are you bringing a guy to this house? Do you know that guy? No one is doing that because she's independent and she loves the freedom. And you're probably thinking right now, I'm not that type of girl. I wouldn't do that. The temptation is there. And by living alone, you have opened up a loophole for yourself to allow that temptation to seep in. Because you're like, wait, I can go night clubbing. I don't have to be home by 12. I don't live with my parents. I'm going to stay back till 2. And then at 2, that's when you bring home that guy because you did 2 extra hours. When your parents say don't move out, they're doing it because there's that respect that you get as a young woman. Like, I have someone who holds me accountable. Someone who says, you're doing that wrong. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't come home late. It's not a bad thing to have someone to do that. That is the best blessing you could ever have from a parent who tells you, hey, don't do that. You can't do that. Who sets rules for you? Because when you're alone, living by yourself, trust me, you don't have rules for yourself. Especially if you're young, you're enjoying your best life. You're going clubbing every day, all day, every week of every month. There's a level of respect that you get. And you're held accountable. Trust me, you want to be held accountable for as long as possible. Because even as a 21-year-old, I still do some extra things that my parents still hold me accountable for. I'm still taking these years to allow my parents to grow and to structure me to be a better woman. So when I get out in that world, I have a mature mind and have these rules set in place. But as an 18-year-old, they've only matured you for not long enough. Not long enough.